Why is my fish tank water cloudy? The 4 real causes and fixes. Section 1. Bacterial bloom. The most common cause of cloudy water is bacterial bloom. You might hear it's called new tank syndrome. It's very common when you first set up an aquarium, but it can happen in older tanks too. So what's going on? When there is a sudden increase in waste, like leftover food or fish poop, a certain type of bacteria sees an all-you-can-eat buffet and start multiplying super fast. Soon, there are so many of them. They turn the water into a milky white or grayish cloud. Now, don't panic. This bloom is usually harmless to your fish. It looks bad, but all the bacteria themselves won't directly hurt them. The main issue is they use up a lot of oxygen, which can stress your fish if you don't have enough water movement at the top. This bloom is actually an important step for a new tank. The best fix is the easiest one. Do nothing. Just let it be, and the bloom will usually clear up on its own in a few days to a week, as the bacteria run out of food. If you really can't stand the look, a small 20% water change can help, but don't do too many. Adding too much fresh water can just make the bloom last longer. And here's the big warning: do not use water clarifiers. These chemicals clump the bacteria together, and that gunk can clog your fish gills and cause harm. Patience is your best tool here. Cause number 2 is just floating bits of dirt and crud. This isn't a bacterial patty. It's more like your tank has a case of dust bunnies floating around. We're talking about fine particles that are too small to settle or get caught by the filter. This could be dust from the gravel you didn't rinse well, a super common mistake, or it could be fish poop and bits of food that got kicked up. The water won't look milky. Instead, it looks dull and hazy, like a snow globe that it was just shaken. The fastest fix is to boost your filter's cleaning power. Get some polyester filter floss. It looks like a pillow stuffing, and add it to your filter. This material is amazing at catching tiny particles. It can make your water clear literally overnight, and yeah, it's really satisfying to see. You should also use gravel vacuum during your next water change. Gently vacuum the gravel to lift up all the gunk without sucking up the gravel itself. One good deep cleaning can often stop the cloudiness from coming back. Regular cleaning is the best way to prevent this. And remember, removing all this crud isn't just for the looks. It also stops those particles from breaking down and causing bigger problems with your water quality later on. Section 3. Too much food or too many fish. Cause number 3 is something that we're all a little guilty of: overfeeding our fish or putting too many fish in one tank. We love our fish, and that love can look like an extra pinch of food or just one more little fish. But the hard truth, extra food and extra fish mean a lot of extra waste. Think of your filter like a small cleaning crew. On a normal day, they can handle all the mess. But if you suddenly have way too many fish or give them way too much food, the crew gets overwhelmed. In your tank, this shows up as a foggy gray haze because the good bacteria in your filter can't keep up with all the waste, and that can lead to a buildup of harmful stuff like ammonia, which is very bad for your fish. The fix is simple math: less in, less waste out. First, feeding. Only feed your fish what they can completely eat in about 30 seconds. If food is floating down to the bottom, you have fed too much. It is always safer to feed too little than too much. Now, about having too many fish. If your tank looks crowded, you might need to find a new home for some of them, or upgrade to a bigger tank. That old inch of fish per gallon rule isn't perfect, because 1 inch of goldfish makes way more waste than 1 inch of tetra. Your fish will be happier with more space, and your water will be clearer. To help reset your tank, do a 20% water change every day for about a week. Within 10 days, the cloudiness should be gone. Section 4. Green algae bloom. Your 4th cause turns your water bright green like pea soup. You're dealing with the bloom of tiny single-celled algae. Think of these algae like weeds in a garden. If you give weeds a lot of sunlight and fertilizer, they take over. In your tank, the sunlight is your aquarium light or a nearby window, and the fertilizer is extra nutrients from your fish waste, like nitrates. Too much of both and you're basically running an algae farm. This green water can appear almost overnight. It is not usually harmful to fish, but it is ugly, and it blocks the light from reaching any plants you have. The key to winning this battle is to cut off what the algae needs to grow: light and food. First, light. Reduce your aquarium light timer to 6 hours a day for a couple of weeks. If the tank gets direct sunlight, move it or cover the window. For a stronger fix, you can do a blackout for 3 days by covering the tank completely with blankets. This starves the algae. Next, cut off the food. Do a couple of 30% water changes in the first week to lower the nutrients in the water. For a quick fix, you can use the UV sterilizer. This device kills algae cells as the water passes through it, so your filter can remove them easily. Once the water is clear, you can go back to a normal light schedule, but keep up with your regular cleaning. Green water usually only comes back if you return to the old habits: too much light and too much food. So let's put it all together. When your water is cloudy, the color is your biggest clue. A milky white cloud? That's almost always a bacterial bloom, super common in new tanks. A dull, gray haze? That usually means you have got floating bits of dirt. If the water is green, you're fighting an algae bloom. And if you have driftwood in your tank and the water looks like brown tea, that's just tannies. They aren't harmful, but they can make the water look dark. Match the color to the cause, pick the right fix I just gave you, and your tank should be clearer by the weekend. It is all about understanding why it's cloudy, so you can apply the right fix. No more guessing, no more dumping in random products. Let me know in the comments which cause you're dealing with. I'll be answering them all week. And if you want to see how to set up a filter that prevents cloudy water from the start, that video is in your screen right now. Keep your fish happy, keep your water clean, and I'll see you in the next one.